again, YouTubers. It's time for our next little project. This is an RCA 56X3 is the model. Built in radiomuseum.org says it was built in 1945, so it's an interesting time period in our country or in the world at the time. World War II was just over, so I don't know if this was made before the end of the war or just after the end of the war, but these are not really uncommon sets, I don't think, and they're sort of I don't know what you would call this design. It's slightly industrial looking. It's not really very sexy, but I found this again at a flea market many years ago, so it's time to take a look at it. So I haven't opened it up. We're going to do that now and take a look. I'm going to pop the knobs, undo the chassis screws, and we'll pull it out and have a look at it. There's a nice little pattern on the top of the knob. Hopefully that, when we clean it up, that will come through. Otherwise, I think this is just dirty. There's something you don't see very often. All four chassis screws, all the chassis screws were there. I'm always amazed when I work on these that people have been into them before, and they pull the chassis out, and somebody just can't manage for some reason to get all the chassis screws back in. You know, there's 1, 2 in there. You know, there's a couple missing, but maybe no one's been in here. Okay, let's see if this will come out. The glass is loose. I gotta be careful here because I don't want to have to replace that glass. Let's see if I can get it out of here. Well, I'm gonna set this aside just for a moment, reach in and get that glass out of there. Out in there. It doesn't want to come out, and I need to be very careful. Okay, that's holding that in. Okay, hang on. I'm going to take a better look. Alright, I had to sort of angle this thing severely to get it out. That's not in half bad shape. It's just dirty, of course. And I wondered if this was physically attached. This almost looks like it was glued to the chassis. You see this business here? But I'll pull the chassis up in a second, and it looked like those supports that were against this were made out of felt. So it isn't likely that that was glued on. Anyway, there it is. So this we won't see again until the end. I'm going to take it outside. You can tell it's got all kinds of dust and stuff in it. We'll clean that out. This case, and we'll do this at the end also, but this case doesn't really need a lot of work. It has a few little spots in here that need some color, and then maybe go over the whole thing with some Howards or some kind of refinisher, and I think most of these things will come right out and it won't be any big deal. This, I don't know. we'll see. I thought this was painted, but it doesn't look like paint. It looks like it's just toned really dark. This is dark. This is lighter. And so I'm not sure what we'll do there. We may take some of that surface off, some of the finish off, and redo it with some lacquer, with some toner in it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is going away for right now. All right, so here is the chassis. Speaker's in really good condition, I think. No rips, and it doesn't feel like it's rubbing. I'm not moving it very hard. This little cardboard surround's in good shape. I think this little dial back, or whatever you call this, that's just dirty. The whole thing's dirty. We'll have to clean it up. Cord. The cord is in good shape. I don't know about this plug, though. We'll think about maybe reusing that. I don't know if you can get, what do you call just one of these parts of the plug? I don't know what it's called. But I wonder if you can get one that's wider so I can at least make sure you got to plug it in the right way for a hot chassis, which I believe this is. We'll look at the schematic later. I don't know. We'll see. Might try and save that. Might not. I think there's supposed to be a little piece of cardboard that goes down over this as well. I don't have anything like that, but so we'll see about that. All right. Let's take a look underneath. Da-da-da. And it doesn't look like this has been touched. This I'm not sure. That may be old, but it certainly looks different than the other caps in here. Might have been replaced. But otherwise, it all looks original. So what I'm going to do is shut the camera off, and I'm going to just give it a visual inspection close up and see if I see anything out of the ordinary or loose or, totally cracked open resistors or something like that. And if I don't, then we may try a quick, I can't resist, we may try a quick power up test. Okay, I'm going to try just a little quickie power up test here, and we'll see what we get. That's my RCA Isotap 2, and let's start it out at let's just start it at the lowest setting, which is 25 volts. I don't think we're going to see anything at that voltage. Really dirty tubes would probably be hard to see the filaments light up. Let's turn the volume up. Go up another notch. Can't see those anyway. Still don't see any filaments. All right. That's 75 volts. Something. Can you hear it? Okay.
Click on the microphone at the top of the home page and type in.
That is good news. All right. So that's bad, the electrolytic capacitors, but I can hear a station behind it. So in a way, that's kind of good news. So what we're going to do is pull the schematic, and we're going to take a look at what it needs. Start changing out capacitors. One or two looked kind of juicy, like they've been hot, and the electrolytics obviously have a problem. So we'll start there, And let's turn this off. So we'll start there and see what we need to do after that. I always like these Sam's PhotoFax when I can get them, so I went online and instead of having them mail me, the sheet through the mail, I found that the print was so small they were hard to put on the bench and use as reference material. So this time I downloaded it, and then I took each section of that Sam's PhotoFax, there's a schematic, and blew it up so I could have it here on the bench instead of having to go over to my computer and call up the image on the screen. There's some voltages and the alignment process, and there's the parts list, and so some pictures of the chassis top and bottom. It's great stuff. So that really helps me a lot, and everything's identified with all these numbers. So I always like to get those. Some people just start off, but I feel better having that in my hands. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this out, electrolytic. I had one of these, which is I call them a firecracker or something like that. But that's a 3-in-1. There's 3 caps in here, and I don't need 3, and there's a little problem with space. If I line this one up with the other one, I don't think it'll fit. So I'll probably go into my little stash that I have of electrolytics and see if I can replace that with 2 separate electrolytics. And looking at this, I mean, there's let me get my little pointer here. Here's the electrolytics that we're going to replace, and I think I'm going to go ahead right now and replace probably this one right here too. So I'm going to do those, and we'll do another test of the radio and see how it sounds after that. Although it's clear some of these other caps in here, they got to go. Okay. Little retaining strap. It's going to come off. Always gives me a little funny feeling, but this thing has done its duty. And the cloth wiring in here is really in great shape, but this, coating, the outer part of these leads are not in good shape. Okay. Oh, come on out, please. There we go. Did that not get? There we go. There you go. History. And this is the other one that's going to come out. I think this has been replaced at some point, but I'm going to go ahead and... So it might be okay, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway. Leave as much lead on here as I can. Okay. Actually, I might see what value that is. I might go ahead and replace that now, since I've got space to get in here. Let me check the schematic. Alright, so this one down here that's buried is this guy right here. That's C11. C11 .0018 microfarads. I've got a 0.0022. That'll work fine, except that this says that its ratings is 800 volts. You guys can leave me a comment, but there shouldn't be any. This is like off the tone control. There's no way there could be 800 volts there. I don't know why they would spec an 800 volt. So the one I've got is 650, I think. I'm going to use it, and if there's a problem, I'll know that I didn't replace it with exactly what was in the parts list. A couple of these other ones too are rated at 1,000 volts, so I'm not really sure why that's done. Anybody good to get it, got a good idea or can help me out there, you can leave a comment. So here's what we've done. The old multi-sectional capacitor has been replaced. I tried to do that as neat as I can with some shrink wrap and using the old retainer clip to hold these down so they're not floating in midair. This was a line filter cap, and while I had it out, the one underneath was the tone control. So I went ahead and replaced those two. So what I'm going to do is a quick power up test, make sure I haven't made any mistakes and everything works. And then we're probably going to go through and do all the rest of these paper caps that you see. Well, through the magic of video, what seemed like an instant for you was actually quite a bit of time. But here's the final result. We've gone through, all the caps are replaced. When I had those clipped out, I checked resistors that were nearby in that circuit. And they were all good except one, so I replaced one. So that's pretty good. I didn't have the values. Again, this is quite a bit of time has elapsed from doing the electrolytics versus everything, because I didn't have some of the values of these things that I needed. And the United States Postal Service being what it is today, it took a little while for it to get here. But it's finally all done. And here's the little dead soldiers over here. And so what I'm going to do is flip this over so it's right set up again, and we'll power it up and see if it works. Okay, here we go. Oops. That's weird. I was used to those being it's been upside down for so long. I was used to those being in the on the opposite side. That's the tone switch. Here we go. Don't want to copyright. All right, so
Diminishing after like 10 years. So the sooner you digitally preserve them, the better. I have really enjoyed using Legacy Box. A lot of different types of memories, videos, and other sorts of things. Legacy Box gets it.
Okay, well that proves the point. Everything's working fine. A little bit of a trick there because I knew it was going to work. Rather than shotgun all of the capacitors, I did them, just for safety's sake, I did them one at a time. So I'd put one in, turn it on, make sure it works. Put the next one in, turn it on, make sure it works. And that way, if I had a problem, if I replaced one and it suddenly didn't work, I knew it was the last one that I just replaced, just worked on. And it gave me a kind of a place to go and see what I'd done wrong. But anyway, they're all done now. And so the only thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a cleanup on this because it's dirty, dusty, the chassis is. The mechanism here needs to be oiled, well, cleaned out a little bit first and oiled again. Probably not going to show you that. And then we'll have to do an alignment, and we're also going to have to do something. Let's see here. Oops, going the wrong way. There. So we're going to have to work on the cabinet a little bit too. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know how long this video has been so far, but if I show you all that, this is going to be a really long video. So I think we're going to stop here, and then the next time we come back, we're going to do the alignment, we're going to do the cabinet, and then we're going to put everything back together and we'll be done. So that's it for this, and we'll get part 2 out shortly. If part 2 is already out by the time you watch this video, I'll have one of those little sliders come across here somewhere, so you can go watch it. But so as soon as we get the second part done, we'll put that up. And I do appreciate you watching this video. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.